All right. Well, welcome to class of 25. I was talking to the kids this morning, and I said, you know, they were the first group, the first real student activity that we had in the new field house. And I told them this morning, in 3 years, 8 months, we want to have their graduation right there in the field house. So that 3 years and 8 months is going to go so fast for you and for them. So we got to make sure we take advantage of every opportunity you have and your students have here at Lakes High School. So we're very proud of Lakes High School. I'll talk a little bit about the administrative team, but I think it comes down to the community, the students that we get here at Lakes, the faculty. It's just a fantastic group of people to work with, and so supportive. We feel so supported by our community, and that just makes our jobs much easier when we're working with your students. And your students are in good hands here at Lakes High School. We're here to take care of them. This is our district mission statement. Ignite passion and discovery in every student. So we're hoping, no, not hoping, we know in the next 3 years, 8 months, or 9 months, whatever it is, that we're going to help your student find out what they're really passionate about. And hopefully they can take that passion and make it into something after high school. So that's one of our jobs, is to ignite that passion and discovery in every student. And we feel that's an important job for us. My own personal goal for our students is that when they leave high school, they're prepared to do whatever they want to do with their life. And then maybe have a backup plan too. We should always have backup plans. I'm on my 3rd backup plan, I think. All right, so we're pretty proud of Lakes. These are some of the things that we feel that we're most proud of. We're an exemplary school in the top 10% for the last 3 years. 3 years ago was when they first started doing the exemplary schools. So we've been exemplary since they've had that rating in the state of Illinois. We're really passionate about our hiring processes. We try to put the right people in front of your students all the time. All the time. We do our best to do that. We do have a great sense of community here at Lakes. We have multiple staff members who have students in the building. Ms. Bowen sitting over here has a graduate and a 10th grader this upcoming year. And then our focus on student achievement is right up there with any school in Lake County and the state of Illinois. All right, now our administrative team. My name is David.Newberry. I'm your principal, your proud principal at Lakes Community High School. I started working at Lakes High School in 2004 when we opened the door. I was not the principal at the time, but that came with time as well. So I told your kids this morning, I've been working at Lakes High School since before you were born. I have 2 assistant principals right over here. Mrs. Holst has been here since 2005. She hasn't always been assistant principal. She was a teacher first year. She's in charge of student services. And then Ms. Bowen has been here since 2004 as well. Opened the doors with me. And she's in charge of curriculum instruction. All right, a lot of experience in what we're doing, just with the 3 of us. But it doesn't stop there. Over here is Mr. Rife, our athletic director. Mr. Rife started here, it was in 2006, did I get the date right? As a teacher. He taught here until 2014? Close? 13? All right. Then he went and took an athletic director job at Harvard, and now he came back here to be our athletic director at Lakes. So we're proud to have Mr. Wright back here at Lakes High School. Standing next to him is our PE department chair and our activities coordinator, Mr. Ring.
Hi, everybody.
Mr. Ring has been here at Lake Community High School since 2004. When did you start in the district, Mark?
94.
All right, so been here a while. So we're proud of this group. Are my deans in here yet? No? All right, you picked it, Mrs. Holt. So Mrs. Hepson and Mr. Onstead. Again, Mr. Onstead has been here. Again, he was a teacher before he became the Dean of Students since 2004. Ms. Hepson came in 2013. So long-standing traditions here at Lakes High School, and it's important that we have that experience behind what we're doing. A couple people to introduce in back. I have our district coordinator of athletics and extracurricular activities, Mr. Rawls.
Hello.
All right, he's our former athletic director at Lakes. And then Ms. Heron is our coordinator of HR with the district and assistant SBO, which is business manager. Ms. Heron? She also used to work at Lakes High School. So it's a good group of administrators to work with. So some of the things that we talked to our students this morning about, this was one of the main ones that we really focused with the students on. Our motto here at Lakes High School is respect and courtesy equals pride. And we believe in that motto. It is the utmost that everybody in the building follows that motto. I talk to the kids about respecting everybody, no matter what their background, anything that makes that person different, we're going to respect that here at Lakes High School. No matter what it is, we need to respect that background, that history, where that person came from. That's important. If we're truly going to have students that feel like they belong at Lakes High School, we have to follow this motto. All right, we also talked about we're not always going to agree on everything. But when we disagree, we're going to be courteous about it. We're going to handle it in the right way. We're going to go talk to teachers after class. We're going to speak in a civil tone. We're not going to harass other people. It's just not going to happen. We can't tolerate that at our school. We want our students to feel like they really belong here at Lakes High School, because that's going to be important for their learning. I emphasize with them, that doesn't mean they have to agree with everything we say. And I told the kids this morning, if you disagree with something that's going on here at Lakes High School, come and talk to me. If I can't give you a good reason why it's going on, then maybe it shouldn't be happening. Maybe we can do something better. So I encourage the kids to always come and talk to me about how they feel things are going here at Lakes High School. That's important. The students have a voice in what we're doing. All right, and you put that respect and courtesy together, and I told the kids this morning, that shows they have pride in themselves, they have pride in their family, they have pride in their school, they have pride in their community, and they have pride in this great country we live in. That's our motto, and that's what we want to follow. And I demand the adults follow that here at Lakes High School as well. And I told the kids this morning, if you ever feel disrespected by the adults in the building, I need to hear about it so I can take care of that. That's my job. All right. So, I thought I would touch base before I hand the mic over to others who have more to share with you. Just our COVID mitigations. Everybody heard what the governor had to say, mandating masks. I thank you for cooperating with us tonight and having your masks on. We're going to follow those mandates. We've said from the beginning that we were going to follow the recommendations of the CDC, the Illinois Department of Health, and of course, any mandates by the governor. We'll work on 3 feet separation, washing hands. We have plenty of hand sanitizing stations throughout the building. Students can hand sanitize before they go into the classroom. They can hand sanitize on their way out. If they want, they can grab a wipe and wipe down their desk at every classroom if they want to. All those supplies are available for the students. Lunch periods. Our lunchroom is not, it's good sized, but it doesn't handle all our students at 3 feet apart. So if we seat 4 students at a table, we'll use our auxiliary gym also to seat some students out there and add more tables so that we don't have, in the past we would have 8 kids at a table, at a round table. And that was okay at the time, but not anymore. So we'll be adding space to our cafeteria by using the alternate gym. Students will be dressing for PE and using the locker rooms. So they'll have to be careful to stay 3 feet to 6 feet apart, especially if they have their masks off when they're getting dressed and showering. We will have testing available through our nurses. And then we just put in up and down stairwells just to make the traffic so kids aren't bumping into each other in the stairwell. So there's some of our COVID mitigations. I'll be happy to talk with anybody about our COVID mitigations afterwards individually if you'd like. I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you. All right, Ms. Bowen is going to share some great information with you now about curriculum and instruction.
Well, welcome. I have to tell you, I love every day at Lakes High School, but there are 3 days that are particularly my favorites. I can never pick just one, so 3. First one is going to be graduation. The other 2 are a tie between my new staff orientation, when we bring in all of our new staff members, and then today, when we have new student orientation. And we get to welcome your students this morning to our family, and then today officially bringing all of you into the Lakes community. And we absolutely feel that nobody does it alone. Students don't do it alone, the staff doesn't do it alone, and you don't do it alone. And so we encourage you at any point to contact us and to be in partnership with us as we all work together to support our students. As Mr. Newberry mentioned, something that's important to us is the phrase to ignite passion and discovery in every student. And at Lakes, we do that with kind of a 3-pronged approach. And I love this visual. This is one that I bring up as much as I can, because you see that mission statement right in the middle. And then around it, we have live, learn, and lead. And we do it in that order. That's how we work our curriculum design and our instruction and our purposeful work with students. What live means to us is fostering a culture of success that also responds to individual differences. And we know the past 2 years have been incredible. I don't know that there's a better word. Absolutely incredible. We have no idea what each of your students have been through and what your family has been through, but we know everybody has a unique and an individual story. For some of us, it's been very challenging. For some of those students, they've found some success in being able to do things a little bit more their way. And so we know the live part, giving time for your students to find their place here, their comfort level, learning about their classmates, learning about their teachers, just learning about the community here at Lakes. That's where we're going to spend our energy in the first couple weeks of school. Because until they have their feet underneath them, they're not going to be ready for the learn. On the bottom of that is what Mr. Newberry was just talking about. The entire foundation of Lakes Community High School, before we ever opened our doors to kids, respect plus courtesy equals pride, was up on the wall. That has been something that we use to answer all of our questions when we talk about why would we want to teach something or how would we want to teach it. So this is just a great tool for us and for our students as we move forward. Along with that live component, that's what defines the structure of the exposure for your students this week. We had them in today, just the freshmen, with a small group of staff, and then a large variety of volunteer students from our student body. They were phenomenal. I don't know if you heard stories or saw pictures, but our Royal Rush was here, encouraging students, talking to them, showing them around the building, giving them just a nice preparation and a footing for what they are going to be doing in the next few weeks. Got them their materials today. Hopefully we just got them comfortable. Friday, they're going to go through their schedule, but it's only freshmen in the building. They're going to go through their schedule, they're going to see their actual teachers, they will be in their classrooms with their teachers, and then we'll have some intentional programming with them at the end of the day. Monday is when everyone's in the building, 9th through 12th grade, whole show, but it's a late start. Okay, write that down or make sure that that makes sense in your head. Monday, every Monday, other than during the last week of the semester, every Monday is going to be a late start schedule. That means your students aren't in class until 9:20. So Friday, this week, freshmen only, they're here at 8 o'clock, but it's a half day. Monday gets that late start schedule. Then we're into kind of normal scheduling for us. You can take a picture of this. We'll make sure we share this slideshow, or this is absolutely on our website. Should have also gotten mailed home to you. But Mondays, your students are in class at 9:20. Otherwise, we start school at 8 o'clock in the morning. We always end at 3:15, other than this Friday. Buses. Oh, thank you for the reminder. Buses on late starts are 80 minutes later than normal pickup time. So 80 minutes later than normal pickup time on late start Mondays. So just a few of the details, and I won't get very thorough in this, but there are some specific experiences your students will have. Some of these are progress monitoring tools, some of these are state mandated assessments that we give to our students. All of our teachers use formative assessments. That is something that gives them a read on how is the student, where is the student, and what do I need to do differently for my student. Most of these are not graded. Those are ongoing throughout the entire course. So that's going to happen in everything your student does. You will see some of that in Infinite Campus. You'll see some grades that are showing up but actually don't get calculated in. So formative assessments are how we understand our students and how our students can communicate with us. We will give a STAR assessment to all of our freshmen. We know it's been challenging the past 2 years. This just helps us know where our freshmen are. We have some scores from your middle schools if your student took things last year, but we realized that that was not remotely traditional for them. So we will do a foundational assessment, just a STAR score. When we do that, you will see those scores showing up in Infinite Campus. Anytime we do a type of an assessment that is standardized, we put it into the Infinite Campus tab, clearly labeled assessments, so it's easy for you to find. Our 12th graders do still need to take a state science test, so that will happen. Our juniors will have the experience of a PSAT, which is the National Merit Qualifier exam, so that happens for our juniors in October. Then we do have another state science assessment. This one's for our juniors. The seniors just got the leftover from the insanity of last year. And then April 13th is a state test day. So April 13th, freshmen, sophomores, and juniors take a version of the SAT. Again, when these scores come in, we will make sure those scores all get put into Infinite Campus. So you will get the results. Finally, if your student has an advanced placement test, an AP course on their schedule, those exams, should your student choose to take it, those exams are in May. And we will make sure to continue to communicate all this to you. I just wanted you to be aware of some of our programs. Next, we are a Google school, so hopefully your child came home today with a Chromebook. That is absolutely the device that we use every day in the building. We need your help. Please remind your student to get that thing charged every night. They do have the ability to charge it here, but it is much easier if they come to school ready to go. So they should bring it to school, and they should charge it at night. Your student also has a Gmail account, so they have an email account now. It's helpful for you to remind them to check that. That is how they'll get a lot of communication. They also are going to have Classroom for every single one of their courses. So when they log into Google Classroom, they're going to see a tile for each course they're taking in first semester. That is a main communication tool between student and teacher within their Google Classrooms. Something fun for you to know. When it's like 11:30 at night and they just finished writing their social studies paper and it's 12 pages long, and they go, wait, I need to print this. Here's the great news. They do that here. Do not fear. Do not worry about any card. They can print here if it's necessary. It's all going to be wireless. They're going to come right in. They can go to multiple printers throughout the building and go ahead and take care of that. So help your student to understand to just stay calm. Printing, not a big issue. Realistically, they're probably printing half of what we used to be printing, but if it's needed, just know that we can do that here. And the last thing I want to add on that piece, there is a difference between Google Classroom and Infinite Campus. And I know that's somewhat irritating in your head. You're like, no, another login! I know. But Google Classroom is an instructional tool. That's what we use a lot to talk teacher to student. The official records, the grades, the assessment scores, like those standardized assessments, those are Infinite Campus. Infinite Campus is truly the warehouse of the information. That's what you'll be using predominantly. If you're having trouble with it, feel free to call our main line. We can help you get logged into Infinite Campus. Last thing that I have is how to get help. We pride ourselves in knowing what your student needs, but we really need you to let us know if there's something we're missing. If your student needs help, if you need help, reach out to us. Let us know. And my recommendation is go directly to the person that's closest to your concern. So for example, if your student is struggling in math class, give the math teacher a call, because that's the person that can best respond to your answer. If you're having a question about college, give that counselor a call. If you're not sure who to call any of those people. We'll make sure you get to the right place. But we have the individual teacher. Each department has a department chair that you can also go to if you're looking for academic recommendations, suggestions. Counselor, your students all have a counselor. If you look at Infinite Campus, you can see the name of that counselor. Sorry, I apologize for the microphone. And of course, any of us, we are available and happy to help however we can. For your student, during lunch hours, your students all have a 25-minute lunch and a 25-minute study hall. During that 25-minute study hall, they are more than welcome to go get assistance in math or in writing. And here's a fun tip. Writing doesn't just mean English. Anything with writing, they can go and get support. They don't need an appointment. These are drop-in, just go to the location. We advertise for students where to go. The writing lab is in our upper ILC. The math support is in the math hallway. But they just go, and they can get support from those teachers that are there during the 25-minute blocks when our students are free. And the last thing, this is not starting right away, but we are excited to be able to offer some peer tutoring during those late start Mondays. So we know your students have a nice chunk of time on those Monday mornings. So from 8 to 9 in the morning, we're going to have our peer tutors available in the Commons, and students will have the opportunity to be able to come in, get some questions answered. It's a great way to find a different resource to support their learning. So we are excited to be able to welcome your students here. Again, my name is Jori.Bowen. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Happy to hand it over to Mrs. Holst, Assistant Principal of Student Services. Thank you, Mrs. Bowen.
First, let me thank all of you for coming. You are about ready to embark on this fun, exciting journey with your students. We started this morning with them. One of the things that we told them, along with everything that you already heard, is that we really have a culture of care in this building. We want to make sure that everybody is getting the academic support that they need, and also the mental health support that they need. Like Ms. Bowen said, we don't know what the last 16 months was like for everybody. We only know our own experience. At any time, if your student needs additional support, we have a lot of options for them. I have the pleasure of working with 2 social workers. This year, each of those social workers has a social work intern. So that gives us more staff in the building. So my 2 social workers are Ms. Kaiserian, and Ms. Schoen. And then they each are working with another person, Mr. Smiley and Mr. Buck. I have 2 psychologists, Ms. Mulchin and Ms. Benton. We also partner with Community Youth Network, CYN. We have a therapist that comes in 4 days a week. She does lots of wraparound services. If your student has the opportunity to work with Carolyn, it's a service that we can continue in the summer too, next summer and over our breaks, spring break and winter break. But they're here 4 days a week. We also partner with a program called Sparks, and that's a program specific to students who have experienced trauma. So we are super fortunate here at Lakes and in District 117 to offer all of these social emotional services to our students. We will actively seek out students that we think could benefit from meeting with somebody else, and then we also, students can always come to us if they feel like they need to talk to somebody. It can be talk to somebody one time, it can be talk to somebody weekly for the remainder of the school year. We also run some very specific social emotional groups. During your students' lunch study, the social workers and counselors will go in and present all of the group options. That will happen in the next weeks. Ms. Bowen talked about the counselors. These are just faces to the names. So Ms. Gargano, when you got your students' counselor assignment in the spring, it could have said Ms. Will. She got married last year. Ms. Lawrence in the bottom left-hand corner, Ms. Rivas, Ms. Ripa, and Mr. Reimer. When you go into Infinite Campus, or if you look at the materials your student brought home today, you will see their counselor name. So just a little bit about this morning. It is absolutely a memorable day for us and hopefully for them. But one of the things that makes today very unique for everybody is this is the first time we've done this in a really long time. We didn't do freshman orientation last year. This is the first time, I think in 18 months, that the 3 of us have presented in person to a group of people. And we do it on a regular basis. I'm exhausted today. We haven't had kids in the building and this much energy and this much talking to tons of people. I mean, last year there was like just us and we had a really good time. This is different. I could curl up right over there and go to sleep and see you guys tomorrow. But expect that from your kid, right? Expect that from your student. If they didn't go to school every day last year, this is going to be different. They haven't done it in a long time. This will be absolutely different. So today, they came in with, just doe-eyed, went to the Commons, got a folder. And they're like, okay, I got a folder, now I'm a freshman. Then some of them got their picture taken, and then the rest of everybody went to the field house. And they sat. And I'm sure they're like, really, this is high school? This is boring. Hopefully they got a little bit out of our friend Mr. Walter spoke to them about just dreaming and your commitment to graduation and taking risks. And just be you, be the individual. So hopefully they heard some of that message. I encourage you to ask your student what they heard. They heard from Mr. Newberry. Then I kind of directed them into some groups and throughout their day. So in their groups, they got a tour of the building. They got their student ID school picture taken. They got their Chromebook. They heard from my friend Zadine, who I'm going to introduce in just a minute. And they got their lock in their locker. And when they say they got their lock in their locker, and they're like, Mom, it's really hard, the struggle was absolutely real. I have a freshman at a different school, and the struggle was real for him. We went last week, and I was the mom who, I was laughing. It It was not my best mom moment, but I'm like, how do you not get this? And he's like, Mom, it's hard. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not that hard. It was hard. It was really hard. Fine. I'm way older than you. It was hard. So, in their folder, when you go home and you're like, let me see your folder. First of all, please love the folder. We've never done folders before. It was one of my projects and I'm really proud of it. It's a folder. They have a copy of the bell schedule. They have a copy of their schedule. If it's the copy, you can also find it on Infinite Campus. They have their ID. Now, here's the thing about the IDs. They will get a real ID. They're going to be like, really, this is my ID? This is ridiculous. Yes, it's ridiculous. It's a business card with their name and their barcode printed on it. They will get their ID, I promise. That's why they got their photo taken today. They need that business card to get lunch, to print their 12-page social studies paper. They need that barcode, so please don't let them lose it. It's in a little plastic holder. They can take it out, put it in their phone, put it in their wallet, what have you, doesn't matter. They need the barcode. Some of them have had their Chromebook since June. We didn't give them a second one. Everybody else got a Chromebook and logged in. Double check that they can log in, please. Again, double check the charging. I think some of them were not 100% charged when we sent them home. Our apologies. So they can charge until they need them on Friday. But hopefully, if there's anything missing from this list, have them contact us and we will get it squared away. Again, I encourage you, because the struggle is real, to come into the building if you can. And if you can't, I get it. They can come in, they can walk their schedule, they can practice their locker anytime this week. But they'll have an opportunity on Friday as well. So don't let that be a stressor. They will have an opportunity on Friday, and everybody here will help them. Everybody here will help them find their class, and all of us, and I will be leading the charge, down the wrong stairwell. All last year, if you think I mastered it, I didn't. I was halfway down and had to go the other way. It's okay. We all do that. It's all about making mistakes. That's absolutely not right. Every time. Okay, tomorrow. What it should say is tomorrow we're here till 5:30. If that works for you later in the day, come tomorrow, not Wednesday. I'll be at home. Tomorrow we're here till 5:30. I apologize for that. Mrs. Bowen referenced Infinite Campus. Some things to look at on Infinite Campus. One, their grades, yes. The other thing you want to think about is it also has their lunch account balance. We are cashless since COVID. And just to keep everybody on their toes, you also can't put any money on their lunch account. So they need the ID. Talk to your kid, because we're going to let them go negative, right? But have the conversation about what they're getting, and if they're buying lunch for other people. If you wanted to send in a check or send them with cash, you can. We will put it on their account. If you don't want to, you want to wait till the system gets fixed. The minute it gets fixed, you guys will be the first to know, trust me. So you can find, it's at the bottom, it's called food service. You can see how much money and what they're buying. They might tell you they're buying the carrots and the celery and the dip. You can check. You can check their grades and you can check their attendance. If they're rule by from tardy, if they're really tardy to class, if they're in the library, it'll say the library. And if they're in class, it'll say they're in class. If you have any questions about Infinite Campus, please, please, please let us know. It's been 16 months since we've used the microphones also. That must be the problem. I'll send this out, but you can take a picture of this. We do a lot of evening programming. Back to school night this year will be in person on the 26th. That is our fancy way of saying it's open house. You will walk your student's schedule, you will meet with the teacher. If you can't make it, we get it. Everybody has busy lives. Everybody is busy. But that's your opportunity. If you can't make it, please reach out to the teacher on your own. On the 1st of September, we have financial aid night. That is mostly for seniors, but it also has good information. If you're curious about what is going to come in the next 3 years, you can't do anything financial aid-wise right now, but it's not awful information to have. We then also have 2 college planning nights on the 8th and the 5th of April. The 8th of September and the 5th of April. Those are open to, and appropriate for every grade level. We have programming for everybody at that time. This year, for the second time, parent-teacher conferences will be virtual. That is in October on the 7th and the 8th. And then hopefully you're getting my news from the nest. That comes out every Monday. You should have gotten it last Monday, and you should have gotten it already today. It is blasted to you via Infinite Campus. If you gave us your email address and checked that you want email correspondence from us. So if you're not getting that, let us know, and we can fix that. If there are multiple people in your house getting it, and you only want one person in your house getting it, let us know, and we can uncheck some boxes. It is something that there's nothing in there that's just for parents. We're gonna also share it with students. When your student is older, they wanna, like in there right now is about registering for parking. Students have to fill that out, not parents. But that's something that in the coming years you'll wanna pay attention to. Our deans, you guys still here? Okay, I have the pleasure of working with 2 deans, Mr. Kurt Onstead, who's been here since 2004, and Ms. Hepson, who's been here since 2013. In Infinite Campus, where it says their counselor, it will also say the dean that they're assigned to. We no longer split our deans by alphabet. The deans are gonna meet with your student about any number of things. We try really hard to make sure that the deans have as many positive conversations as they do maybe some sort of question or consequence conversation. They're gonna talk about attendance with your student if necessary. They're gonna talk about making sure we continue to have a safe environment. We have a lot of conversations about cell phones. If you would help us with that at home, that would be lovely. Just remind students not to use it during class. We don't put students on our Wi-Fi. So if you have limited data, your student will be the problem. We have a wonderful nurse. We have a new nurse this year, Miss Ray. She is fantastic. If you have to give her any documents, physical, COVID vaccination, other documents, you can email them to her. You can bring them into the building. We keep track of all of that in the nurse's office. Buses, also in Infinite Campus, also in my news from the nest. Mrs. Bowen talked about the 80 minutes. We also run a late bus that will take the kids home at 4 o'clock if they stay after school. They can pick that up from the main entrance. Parent drop-off is a fun time. We just ask that there'll be people directing traffic. Just continue to pull forward, and then it'll be a smooth situation. Pull all the way forward, wave at our security staff. If your student is sick, this is the number that you have to call. We sent this home, I don't know, in January when we did a mailing, and we said, yay, welcome to Lakes. There's a phone number on here, press 9, and you're gonna, or do it by 9 a.m., sorry, and then you're gonna tell why your student is late. The nurse might call you if it's COVID related. She will give you a call. Also keep in mind that if your student isn't feeling good at school, they can go to the nurse's office, not just go straight home. The nurse might be able to get them to finish the day or find out what else hurts. As Mrs. Bowen said, Monday is the first day of school for everybody. Our goal is to have everybody medically compliant by that day, and that means all freshman documents, physical and immunization. Your dental that's due, we'll track that down later. We don't necessarily need that by Monday. Your student should bring a Chromebook, bring something to write with and write on. We don't do that traditional school supply list. If teachers want something specific, they'll let you know next week, and then they'll give you some time to get it. You won't have to go out that night. They won't dress for PE on the very first day. So they'll get their uniform, tell them not to panic about PE. They'll know where to go, they can go in the gym, their PE teacher will take them to the locker room and assign them a locker. We certainly don't want that to be a stressor. We talked about back to school night, starts at 6:30. Communication. One of the biggest things that we've talked about since COVID is the amount of communication that we do send out. We apologize, we know it's a lot. We are trying to streamline and be cognizant of how much we do communicate. We don't want to ever leave you out of something. So if it feels like we over-communicate, we'd rather over-communicate than under-communicate. But we do try to put it all in my news from the nest. Check our website though, CHSE117. You can get push notifications. There's a live feed that we constantly update. My news from the nest, and then Twitter. We do put a lot of information out on Twitter. Mrs. Bowen tweeted out this morning, she stuck it from the bottom, about some freshman orientation things. I just put out a video a couple of hours ago from freshman orientation. Your students learned the roller coaster today. So ask them about it, watch my video, rholst10 on Twitter. I was gonna show you, I couldn't get it to work, sorry. I'm sure if I was 14, I'd be able to get it to work. Take a picture of that if you're interested in following us on Twitter. Thank you for coming. I'm now going to hand it over to our athletic director, Mr. Rife.
Thank you, Mrs. Holst. I just want to take a few minutes of your time to introduce our athletic and activity program. As was mentioned earlier, my name is Matt Rife. I was here for a while teaching and coaching, and I left to get some administrative experience, and it just so happened to work out that I'm back here as the athletic director. Very, very excited about that, especially as it comes in conjunction with the opening of the field house. So we're very excited about that, and a lot of the kids this morning were very excited as well, even though we know as freshmen nothing's ever cool, and they'll never admit that, but they're pretty excited. They're pretty excited for sure. Our goal, when I say our goal, myself and Mr. Ring, who was introduced earlier, who is in charge of activities, our goal is to create opportunities for your student. That's it. Opportunities. That could be like this young man here, Cam Ruiz, who currently holds the Illinois state record in the triple jump. It could be in student council. It could be part of a prom committee, homecoming committee. There's so many opportunities here. We continue to talk to the students this morning about not regretting waiting to try something new. I won't speak for everybody in here, but when I was in one of these presentations in 1994 as a freshman, I felt like high school was gonna drag on, and the next thing you know, you're walking across the stage and you're in the real world. And we know as we get older, faster and faster the years go by. All right, so we pushed a lot this morning of let's not wait. Don't wait. Let's just jump into it and let's go. There are 24 varsity sports here at Lakes Community High School and 33 activities. So if your student, and we said this morning as well, if your student feels like there's nothing for them to participate in, to feel like they belong, there's a couple options. One, just try something new. Two, talk with me, talk with Mr. Ring, talk with any of our administrative team, and we will be happy to pursue the potential addition of a program or an activity. Now that's easier said than done. There's a lot of things that go into that. However, we are not opposed. We are not this this static group here where, well, we're just going to do this and we're not going to try to enhance opportunities. So our goal is to give these kids the best opportunity that we can. We started quite a few sports today, and just another plug here for the field house. With the weather that didn't cooperate, it took our team 7 or 8 minutes to come up with a plan B to get people into the field house and get everybody accommodated in a very short time. In years past, we might be looking at 7 hours. Not really that long, but it feels like it sometimes. So we're very appreciative of that space to allow, again, these opportunities for your students. So again, very excited about just these opportunities. And the other thing that we talked about quickly was the connection that we have to athletics and activities. especially for your student. Their 7th grade year was negatively impacted with stuff taken away from them. And it happened again 8th grade, and not that I have the power to control this, but it's not going to happen freshman year. I'm going to act like I do, and we're going to have a great year without interruption. We also talked about when you are an adult and you talk about high school, you go to a reunion, you're probably not talking about that 12-page social studies paper that you worked on with your friends. You're probably talking about sports. Could be prom, could be homecoming game. There's just a lot of things out there that tie us back to, I guess, a simpler time when we were in high school. And that's something that we want to really reinforce to your student and really show them that the time to do this is now, because nothing's really guaranteed. And if the last 16, 18 months hasn't proven that, I'm not sure what will to us. So we're really, really excited to get people back in and ready to go. There's one group that stands behind all of our programs, and we would not have the resources, we wouldn't have, in some examples, equipment, facilities, and for sure the success without the help of the Lakes Eagles Booster Club. So we see the mission statement here: to promote and encourage the academic, artistic, athletic, and extracurricular pursuits of student life at Lakes Community High School, and to enhance school spirit throughout the school and community by providing resources and financial assistance to organize activities. So when you're at a game, when you're at a concert, and concession stands are being run, food is being grilled, spiritware is being sold, which, by the way, is for sale right outside on your way out, and we're also doing pre-orders for some of the 2021 fall spiritware, so please consider purchasing some of these items. We obviously cover costs, but then it just provides more opportunities for your student. And we are very grateful for all the work that they do. It's behind the scenes, it's unsung. So if we could have a round of applause right now for any Booster Club members that are here, thank you. Stand up and wave. Can I tell one quick story and I go? All right. Just one more thing to kind of just reiterate the value of these programs. If we have any Milburn parents here, can we just kind of raise our hands for Milburn folks? So if we have had anybody go through Milburn, we're probably familiar with somebody by the name of Dan Jazzo. We know Mr. Jazzo. That's Mr. Jazzo, for sure. The reason I bring that up is Mr. Jazzo was my high school track coach. The only reason I bring that up is throughout college, in my early career in education, I talked to him at least once a week. At least once a week. Whether it was about athletics, transitioning to college, getting married, big life steps. He was in these conversations pretty consistently. And that's through athletics, that's through activities. So again, we'd like to encourage your student to get out of that comfort zone, try some new things, build a lifelong relationship with people that you'll talk to 25, 30 years later. So I just wanted to share that, and that's what our goal is here at Lakes Community High School. And without further ado, I will turn it back over to Mr. Newberry. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and the boosters have really done a fantastic job, and they help every group. It's not an athletic booster club. It's athletics, it's fine arts, it's activities. The Booster Club has given Lakes Community High School well over $50,000 every year for the last 10 years. So the stuff that they're providing for us, from the wraps on the doors down in the gym, to the sign over on Poly Field, to the eagle, the iron eagle out in front of the building, that's all Booster Club stuff, all extra stuff. And this group over here, several of them are standing here, if you guys could raise your hands. All right, so they're part of this. So if you're interested in joining the Booster Club, they have computers out there tonight. You can join the Booster Club. It includes passes to our athletic events and activities as well. So talk to the boosters tonight. There's booster spirit wear for sale. Please get involved. This is an essential group. All right. We have what we need to educate your students. We do that through our budgets. This is the extra stuff that we can do. It's the extra stuff that we can do for your students to make it this much more special for those students. And we don't want your students going home and this year at 3:15. We want them staying here. There's things to do. All right, there's 24 sports and 33 activities. There's fine arts. We've got so much for them to do. They should be staying here after school for a while every day. There's something for your students to do here at school. So they don't have to come home and bother you. They can stay here. We got a lot of stuff for them to do. And we know that the more involved our students are, the better they do in their classes. It's just statistically proven. All right? The more activities your students are involved in, the better they do in their classes. So encourage them to get involved. We have everything. We have esports. Anything you can think of, we have it. If we don't have it, have your student come and talk to us, and we'll find a way to get it going. All right. We have some people scheduled for 7:30 tour after this. Miss Holst and Mr. Ring, they will take you guys on a tour. If not, we are done for the evening. I thank you for coming out. We will be available in the foyer for questions if you have them. Visit with the boosters, visit with the Royal Rush out there, and thank you for coming tonight.